All right. So today, good morning, Mr. Sonny. So today is Wednesday, the 21st of August, 2024. And there are two events today, fundamental events. We have crude oil inventories by 3:30 p.m. and we have FOMC meeting minutes by 7 p.m. So these are the two major events. So that means that between now and 3:30 p.m., there is no fundamental event. If there's any volatility whatsoever, that could actually help. Though sometimes when you don't have any fundamental event in the morning like that or early in the afternoon, the market might actually range. But nonetheless, let's still watch out and see what will happen, in the market in the course of today. So let's just flip over to the technicals. So let's just flip over to the technicals and see what to expect from a technical perspective. The crude oil inventory is actually a major news for those who trade crude oil. It's a very important report that could actually move the market. So even though it's medium impact, nonetheless, it can have some volatile implications. Basically, let's just read it and let's click on the details. So we say this news measures the change in the number of barrels of crude oil held in inventory by commercial firms during the past week. An actual less than forecast is good for the currency. So this is very important. This is not the regular case of actual greater than forecast. It's actual less than forecast is good for the currency. So by 3:30 p.m., if the actual is less than forecast, then the color will be a green in this region. And that means you can buy the dollar, the USD, can buy the USD. Now, the FOMC meeting minutes will happen by 7 p.m., though there'll be further news, there'll be further instruction about this in the afternoon session. But generally, FOMC is meeting minutes. You can see that, sorry, I think I made a mistake doing the red green circle then, nothing for the FOMC. For the FOMC, there is no previous, there is no forecast, there is no actual. So it's not something you want to bother to trade. And I will advise, I don't know how it will move the market because it's not the general FOMC. The general FOMC always have about 3 items simultaneously. This one is just one. So we don't know the level of volatility this could bring in the market. But I'll suggest if it's possible that you don't have a running trade that time, the better. And peradventure you have a running trade, maybe a swing trade, just make sure you have a stop loss in place, just in case, the news destabilizes the market against your direction. So that will be all from the fundamental. We go over to the technicals and we look at what we have for today. So I'll flip over now to my MetaTrader platform and we'll take a look at what to expect from the technical perspective. Now, today, the market is really, the dollar is really the main focus of a lot of the instruments we'll be analyzing this morning. And I'll start with the Euro USD. Good morning, Mr. Motoshaw. So I'll start with the Euro USD. And the Euro USD, on the daily time frame, price just hit a previous resistance level right there. Price closed on that level last night. So this is where price currently is. So technically, we are expecting a decline in Euro USD today. This is the daily time frame. So if you flip down to the 1 hour, this is what we are seeing at the moment. And we can draw our trend lines. Okay, I can still draw a second at the back. We are not forcing it. I'm trying to flip down to 30. Okay, I think 30 minutes would be better. Now, this is what we have on the 30 minutes. So we have price hitting the resistance on the daily time frame, and we have a rising wedge on 30 minutes. Now, two things are possible here. Price might push up first before a decline. That's a possibility. We might have an outright breakout. Any of it is possible. So we have to trade with extreme caution. RSI is currently below 50. It's at 45. So whatever the market brings, we just take it that way. Like I said, it could actually push up to form a double top and a breakout, or we might have an outright breakout. However it comes, all we need to do is just to prepare for a bearish breakout on this instrument. So I'm bearish on the Euro USD for today. And how do you trade this? You wait for a new candle to come to break out of this trend line, at least on pips below the current low of that trend line. Then RSI must be clearly below 50. So right at 45, so it's like that's clearly below 50. Only thing what we're doing is we're waiting for the actual breakout of the candle. So that's all we're waiting for. And we're bearish on the Euro USD for today. And GBP USD also is having a similar pattern, because on the daily time frame, we can clearly see that price hit a resistance level last night. Price hit a resistance level last night, and technically, we're also looking for a bearish opportunity. And I remember for these GPUs, I've told us for quite a while that I was anticipating, I saw the formation of a pattern that looked a lot like a symmetrical triangle or so. And in that pattern, I was seeing the formation of a head and shoulder, which will lead to an eventual bearish breakout, though that's more of a long term. And I remember telling us that on the daily time frame, yeah, this is the head, shoulder. Some days ago, I said, from the look of things, price may push up before dropping. So maybe we're already at that point where we should be anticipating, that massive breakout. So let's just watch and see what the market will give us in this regard. But then I'm bearish on the GBP USD. You can see that this point here now is a confluence, because we have the trend line and the resistance, all of them converging at this particular spot. So we should expect a breakout. If a breakout hits, it's able to move down to this region here, which is the lower part of this trend line. And, that place also is acting. If this ends up as a head and shoulder, then this trend line becomes a neckline. So we may expect, continued movement rather, if price is able to break out below that level. But that's like in the future. This is a daily time frame. That's a movement that can take longer. But in the short term for now, what we're expecting is, an opportunity to sell from this current point. So I flip down to 1 hour. Well, let's start from 4 hour. On the 4 hour, we can see that we have a rejection candle there, which is another indication of a bearish movement. And down to 1 hour, we still have that same very valid rejection candle, all pointing towards a bearish movement on GBP USD. So the last thing we do is we draw a trend line and a second one to give us a rising wedge, just like what we did with the Euro USD. And there's an additional information to this one. We are seeing what looks a lot like a head and shoulder, and that should give us a massive bearish breakout. Now, RSI price has broken out below the trend line, so it looks like the market is ready for itself. However, the RSI is still above 50. So at this point, we need to be cautious with this one. Let's flip down to 30 minutes and see something. Okay, I think my screen is not updating on 30 minutes and 15 minutes. Okay, let's go back to 1 hour. All right. Please, I want to be sure. Can you still hear me?
Yes, boss.
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah, okay, because my system is not updating. My time, my market watch is not moving at all. Okay, but you can still hear me. That's what is important. All right. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that we're having a reversal pattern here. So what I can do here is to put a, all right, my market watch has updated now. We have a minor support zone here. So if price is able to break that support zone, then we will see a bearish movement on GBP USD. So I'm bearish on the GBP USD. And next to that is the USD card. Now, there was a news from the US yesterday. I think it's CPI from Canada. And I remember telling us that if the news comes out good for the card, buy card JPY. If it's good for the card, you can either buy card JPY or you sell Euro card and GBP card. That's if the news came out good for the card. And I said, if the news came out bad for the card, you can buy USD card. I don't know if you remember that. That was 1:30 p.m. yesterday around here. And the news eventually came out bad for the card. And we saw some movement, on the, thank you, Mr. Macaulay. We saw some bullish movement on the USD card. Let me see, 1:30 p.m. should be 15:30. Let's flip back to the actual time. Yeah, that's a candle. And we saw some bullish movement on the USD card to the tune of about 33 pips. That's not too bad to take some trades. I mean, not too bad at all. With 30 pips, 15 pips, two trades will have given you some good profit, on that. So we're taking this further today because that's laid the foundation for what we're doing with the card today. And what prompted that also was because price hit a support level on the daily time frame yesterday. As at the time, we wanted to take, we're analyzing that news. These are all valid support levels, and the price, did hit that level yesterday. So technically today, we still look for an opportunity to buy the USD card. So we'll flip down to 1 hour. And on 1 hour, what I'm seeing here is a pattern that looks a lot like an inverse head and shoulder, which I expect to lead to a bullish breakout. So to capture the breakout, all I can do is to draw my trend line and draw a second one at the back. So while we anticipate a further bullish breakout on a USD card in the course of today. And I will take this region as a neckline region. Now, currently, RSI is at 42. It's way below 50. Though you can see that the candle is actually trying to make, a breakout, but I will advise you take some caution. It becomes really, really much of a bullish trade when price breaks above that minor resistance up there. So I'm bullish on USD card today, and it's just in line. We're bearish on Euro USD, bearish on GBP USD. Now we're bullish on the USD card. All of them on 1 hour. These are all intraday setup. All of them on 1 hour time frame. And gold is another instrument I'll be looking at. Gold. Now, I said yesterday that I was bearish on gold, and I'm still bearish on gold. On the daily time frame for gold, you can see we have this trend line, and price, is bouncing off the trend line. Yesterday, candle closed with a rejection candle touching that trend line. So technically, we still look for an opportunity to sell gold today. And if we flip down to 1 hour, can draw our trend line. Okay, that's not working that way. All right. Now, this, I will not say this looks like a head and shoulder because in a way, we may say it's trying to look like, but I will not want to take that because it means the other shoulder must take some time to evolve. If that is what the market is going to give, all well and good. But I just don't want to depend 100% on having a head and shoulder day because it's not really looking too clear. Yes, I'm a doc. And wait, what's this? Oh, gold JPY. Okay, we'll look at it. That'll be later. You know. So I'm expecting a decline in price. Currently, the RSI is still above 50. But if along the line, we have the RSI below 50, and I can also cite a minor support, around this area. Price needs to clearly break this level for us to have the sell we're looking out for. But generally, I'm bearish on gold. I'm bearish on gold for today. So it's still in line. We're bearish on gold, and this bearish movement on gold is on 1 hour. Bearish on Euro USD, bearish on GBP USD, bearish on gold, and bullish on USD CAD. All of them on 1 hour time frame. All right, for those asking about New Zealand USD, that's the next one I'm doing. Now, New Zealand USD is about to experience some, I would say, a massive bearish breakout. I would even say the setup here it has a higher probability compared to what we have on the Euro USD and GBP USD. And I'll start it from the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, we can clearly see that price is trending downwards. You have a downtrend and price is touching the trend at the third time. Technically, that should lead to a bearish movement. Though this is a weekly time frame, the week is yet to close in the real sense, but that's what I'm seeing here. And so we have a downward trend line on the daily time frame, which will lead to a bearish movement. And secondly, price also hit a resistance level, which is another indication of a decline. All right, so if you flip down to the daily time frame, we can see that the current daily candle is trying to form a kind of a rejection candle here, though the day is still young, but that's what we're seeing. On 4 hour, it's a bearish engulfing. On 1 hour, this is what we're seeing. Okay, so we're anticipating a bearish breakout on this instrument in the course of today. So I'm bearish on New Zealand USD. I think I should even take it out to 30 minutes. Let's say 30 minutes. Okay. The breakout has actually started, though I would suggest, let's see, RSI is below 50 on the 30 minutes time frame. Let's go back to 1 hour. RSI is yet to cross 50 on 1 hour. All right, what I will advise you do with this to be on the safe side is this. There's a minor support here. Wait for price to break below that support before you trigger a sell on New Zealand USD. For the person asking about New Zealand USD, if you're already on the sell, I will advise you hold it. But for others, wait for price to break below that minor support zone before you trigger a sell on the New Zealand USD. And finally, from my analysis this morning, I'll look at GBP CAD. Okay, Isa Caleb, when you cite a setup on 1 hour and 4 hour, does that mean that trade is intraday? It depends. If your trend is a 4 hour and the 1 hour is your entry, possibly it could be an intraday. But if your entry is to be on 4 hour, no, the entry on 4 hour may not be intraday. It could potentially mean you're looking at a swing trade. So it depends on the time frame you are using for entry. Any entry on 1 hour can be taken as intraday. Though in some instances, the trade might actually be carried over to the next day. That's also possible, but you can still look at it more as an intraday. So I hope that answers Mr. Isa Caleb. All right, so I said finally I'll look at GBP CAD. I've been on this one for quite some time now. Today is Wednesday, probably from Monday or from last week, thereabouts. Hopefully the breakout may happen today, all things being equal. Now, for this GBP CAD, on the daily time frame, let's start from the weekly. Yeah, the analysis from the weekly. On the weekly time frame, we can clearly see that price is trading on a resistance level on the weekly. Even if you take it to the monthly, it's still a valid resistance level. It's a support here. It's a resistance. Price couldn't close above it, so it's still a resistance, 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 and this is where we are. So we have seen a valid resistance even on the monthly time frame. So that's a very strong one. So that takes us back to weekly, where it's still a resistance, and on daily it's still a resistance. So we have the resistance on many, time frame, and that's a very strong one. So we come down to 4 hour, okay? On the 4 hour time frame, on that same resistance level, we can clearly see a rejection candle here, which is indicative again of a bearish movement. But where we're actually going is a 1 hour time frame, which is what we have here. So you can see on the 1 hour, there's still that valid a rejection candle. But then what we want to focus on now is the trend line that is drawn over there, and a second trend line here, which gives us a valid rising wedge. So what we're going to be trading is a breakout of price below this trend line. Now, two things are possible here. Price may do an outright breakout, or price may go back, because you can see the current candle looks like it's trying to move slightly bullish. You can see the current candle here is trying to do some bullish movements. Oh, why am I drawing this here? Good. So this price may go up before it breaks out. That's a possibility. Or we might just see an outright breakout. But either ways, I'm bearish on the GBP CAD. And this actually, let me say the trade, it could be the trade for the day, because it can pull some very powerful number of pips. Even if it breaks out today, I believe the trade may even be carried over to the next day, to tomorrow. So if we have a breakout, let's look at Fibonacci 23.6. To Fibonacci 50 can give as much as 100 pips. To Fibonacci 61.8 can give 143 pips. So you're there, you want to trade this, just watch it closely. Like I said, we may see some push up before a breakout, or we may have an outright breakout, either ways. So I'm bearish on the GBP CAD. So I've mentioned about I think 5 or 6 instruments now. 6. We're bearish on the Euro USD on 1 hour. We're bearish on the GBP USD on 1 hour. We're bearish on gold on 1 hour. We're bearish on New Zealand USD on 1 hour. We're bearish on GBP CAD on 1 hour, and we are bullish on USD CAD on 1 hour. Every setup I've given this morning, they are all, intraday setup. They are all intraday setup. So watch out for them in the course of today. All right, so I'll attend to the questions I have here. Mr. Salman Fani is asking, good morning, sir. Please, what are the different trading session time in Nigerian time? Beautiful question. Now, there are 4 market sessions, but we'll look at 3. We always ignore the last one, which is actually the first one, which is the Australian session. But the one we look at is the Tokyo session, the London session, and the New York session. The Tokyo session runs from 1 a.m. Nigerian time to 10 a.m. Nigerian time. So while many of us are sleeping, the Tokyo session is running 1 a.m. to 10 a.m. in the morning, when possibly we're awake. The next session is the London session. London session runs from 8 a.m. in the morning, 8 a.m. Nigerian time, to 5 p.m. Nigerian time. So it's 7:32 a.m. now. In the next 28 minutes, the London session will start. So London session is 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And the New York session starts from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. in the night. I'll say that again. Tokyo session 1 a.m. to 10 a.m. London session 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. New York session 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. So I believe that answered the question, Mr. Salman Fani. Okay, MK is asking that I check USDCHF. USDCHF. All right. Ultimately, we are bullish on the dollar, but then at the moment, I'm not really seeing. Let me look closely again. Okay, we are seeing a tip here, but on the weekly, let's go down to the daily. Price has broken out below. For now, I will just we have a support here. But price broke out below it. Price broke out below it on this other side. So for now, I'll just want to stay out of USDCHF. It will still kind of buy, but I'm not seeing I'm not seeing the clarity at the moment. It's not hitting some levels I expect it to hit. So instead of trading USDCHF, I would advise you can go with Euro USD. Euro USD, GBP USD, they are selling. Or if you still want to buy, you can buy USD CAD. So that's just my view. That's my view on the USDCHF. And the same thing also on the dollar. Dollar index too is not, I think the USDCHF is reacting to the same thing the dollar index is doing. Dollar index is yet to hit a support level. So the same thing is happening to the USDCHF. But the other pairs are looking like they are ready to move. So I'll just focus on the ones that are ready and leave the one that is still, trying to adjust itself. I've looked at New Zealand USD from Mr. Olabi. All right, so Amedok is asking about gold JPY. So let's look at gold JPY. All right, so we can say that the general volatility that's happened to the JPY pairs recently, where many of them were bearish, happened to the gold JPY too. It dropped massively, and it's in the corrective phase now, trying to go bullish. Let me see if there's. Yes, we have a valid support here, and the rejection candle formed is what is pushing the price up at the moment. I'm not seeing any setup on this instrument at the moment, though the only thing I know I can see, which can be a bit long term, is that I'm seeing the formation of an inverse head and shoulder, which will lead to the further bullish breakout. It's going to buy because of that very long rejection candle that we have on the weekly time frame. It's going to buy for many weeks to come. It may target this next resistance level. But as per entry on a lower time frame, I'm not seeing a setup for that. I'm not seeing a setup for that at the moment. Maybe later we may have that evolve. There's a projection that price may still go as high as maybe 1,700 pips, possibly. But entry is not too clear at the moment. So if you're not already on the trade, I will advise you trade with caution around this instrument for now. You can see it on 4 hour. It's actually evolving into an inverse head and shoulder. So that's what I'm seeing. So it may be more of a swing setup. So for Amedok, trade this with a lot of caution. If price breaks out above this this resistance zone, then you may enter a buy. But I hope you know that this can be a very volatile instrument. So please trade with a lot of caution. And it's possible in order to complete this first shoulder, it's possible when you see a little bit of a drop before that breakout. But either ways, whether it drops or not, if price breaks out above this current block, this resistance block, then it will target the next resistance level, which is about 1,700 pips away. It's a swing setup. So that's my view for gold JPY. Smart BTC. Okay. USD card. We're bullish on USD card. We're bullish. We already analyzed that. You're welcome, Ahmed. So I'll look at BTC for smart. BTC USD. All right. For BTC USD, I remember telling us yesterday that, I saw a head and shoulder on 15-minute time frame. A head. Okay, no. What I actually cited was a shoulder, a head, a second shoulder, and that's a neckline and a breakout. Then there was a retracement and further breakouts. Massive one. Very, very massive one. So what is happening today? Let's look at it afresh. So let me delete all the lines. All right, this is a perfect one. Now you can clearly see that yesterday, the candle closed as a rejection candle. Yesterday closed as a rejection candle at a resistance zone. All right, so technically we're expecting a possible bearish movement today. So let's go to a lower time frame, 4 hour, 1 hour. Okay, now 1 hour, if this is what I think will happen, we have a trend line right here. So if price breaks out below this trend line, then we'll see a sell. Price may sell to this level. So take note of that for today. If price is able to break below this trend line, then it will target that level over there. So I'm bearish on BTC. I'm bearish on BTC USD today. And as a further confirmation to that, if you actually look closely at the current setup, it's trying to form a kind of a double top here, except if price invalidates that level. We're trying to form a kind of a double top here, which can push price downwards. So the catch here is to wait for a breakout below this trend line. RSI clearly below 50. MACD is already below 0. In fact, RSI had already crossed below 50. It's just doing a kind of a retracement. I believe it will still drop later. So I'm bearish on BTC USD. GBP/USD, we've analyzed GBP/USD, sir. We are bearish on GBP/USD. We're bearish. Okay, I think that'll be all for this morning. I think I responded to everyone. Don't forget our bootcamp continues today by 7 p.m. So if you want to join, just wait. You can either reach out to your account manager to get you the link, or I believe maybe the link might be dropped, or check the status of your account manager in the course of the day for the link. Time is 7 p.m. It's a 6-week event. We started last week. So this is the second week. Don't miss any of these events. You get knowledge on how to trade the markets better. And don't forget our NFP live trading session comes up the first week of the first Friday in September. That is exactly 2 Fridays from now, on the 6th of September. That's the first week in September. We're having the next live trading session for NFP. Don't miss it. Make sure you have a funded account, so that we can trade together and you can make profit on that day. All right. Finally, if you're on the platform this morning, you don't have an account with PU Prime, just head over to our website straight away, www.puprime.com, and open a live account. Once you open an account, your account manager will reach out to you and will walk you through the entire registration and verification process. So it's going to be bye from me at this point. Take care and have a great day ahead. Bye-bye.